All right, hello and welcome again. My name is Chris Thorson. I'm Senior Director of Product Marketing here at Poly, and today's topic is huddle rooms, from hype to value, right? And I've got a special guest with me today. I've got Tim Root, who's our VP of Room Collaboration. Hey, Tim, for the audience out there who might not know who you are, you want to give a couple of moments about yourself and your background?
Yeah, thanks, Chris, and thanks for letting me join you in this experience. My name's Tim Root. I'm the VP GM of the collaboration business at Poly. So basically, that entails anything that goes into a conference room comes out of my team.
All right, fantastic. Big responsibility, I know, and a lot of change going on and we'll talk about here over the last couple of years. So just to kind of frame up our conversation today, everybody knows that there huddle rooms is one of the fastest growing segments of our industry. Some have said it's upwards from 30 to 50 million huddle rooms that might be out there. And a very small percentage of those today is enabled. And we expect in the next couple of years, I saw a report just this morning from Frost & Sullivan talking about how up to maybe 73% of those of all of communication traffic may end up going through huddle rooms in very near future. So we want to talk today about where's this growth? What's a huddle room? Where's the growth coming from? So Tim, the first question for anybody that might not be familiar with the huddle room, in your words, what is a huddle room?
Yeah, that's a great question because for a long time the definition varied wildly, right? So the way I think about it is this. There's been a huge transformation in the work environment where most offices are going away. People are being pushed into cube environments. And where you had a lot of closed offices, you didn't need small places for people to collaborate because they could come in, shut my door, let's sit down and talk. We could do it right there. Well, now that those rooms are gone, you really have some larger places where you could have 12, 15, 20 people, but you need a lot of collaboration spaces where there's 1 to 8 people in size that you can quickly jump into, have 3, 4 people get together, work on something, and then go back out into your cubes and implement whatever you've developed. Or in a lot of the world today now, you can work with external folks and bring them into those rooms. So the technology has also been developed to be put into those spaces. So you can either do it local or you can do it remote, but it's really about having a lot of small spaces to enable that collaboration. I put that sort of the definition of huddle, and I've seen it in so many enterprises now. And that's why you're seeing this huge explosion where you'd have maybe 15 conference rooms in the past. Now you have 50 huddle rooms because you need to have all these quick spots that people can go sit and do some quick collaboration.
Right. Yeah. I can just imagine the guy that's in my cube and they want to have a performance review with their boss remotely. They want to have a private conversation, someplace to go. Hey,
yeah, or even just working on a program, right? You don't want to be disruptive, right?
It's exactly. Yeah, you consider it to the people around you.
Exactly.
So what are some of the, we talk about, you talked a little about, is there any other drivers that are really kind of making these things, super popular? Why the shift now from where we were to where we are?
Yeah, so the other big piece of this is that technology component, and it's the cloud-based communication tools, which you go back in time, WebEx first started this in the 90s. You started to see things even on the consumer side with Skype, et cetera. All that technology has been combined. And now you have these super rich cloud-based applications that have taken down the cost of being able to transform your local infrastructure to a collaboration environment without having to ingest hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment, where your traditional PBX or your UC infrastructure, you don't need that anymore. You just need to turn on this cloud service and you have video, audio, web sharing, content sharing. All of that is now being easily ingested into any environment. And so companies like Microsoft with Teams and Zoom, you even seeing Google come into play, other new entrants have just done a fantastic job of enabling the applications. And then you add to it companies like Poly, where we're developing these platforms specifically designed for the huddle room. right? So there's really unique requirements. One of them is, when you have a wall and the table right up against the wall, right? So that requirement, if you're going to reach that person sitting right up in front against the wall, you need a super
Yeah,
wide
and there's
angle
really wide
camera.
cameras. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So that is a big innovation in the camera technology that's just come out in the last couple of years to drive the ability to now populate cameras into those rooms very easily and integrate simply with the applications in the cloud, right? So you're starting, that's a big driver. The other part is what Poly does, right? With our camera technology, we can auto frame, we can detect where the speakers are, we can do all the things that make it hands-free. So I can walk in, I can
Yeah.
communicate, initiate my call. I don't have to do anything. The system knows exactly how to work because in these relatively small rooms, there's specifically unique skills that the system has to know about that we can tune and make it seamless. So that's a big part of what is driving and people who are experiencing going, this is fantastic. Like this experience is not like, my grandfather's video system, right? This is a completely unique model and drives the collaboration and the effectiveness way through the roof. So that's what's driving. So you got IT guys going, wow, this deploys easily, super simple to use, and my end users don't need heavy training, and it's seamless. So like
Right.
our new, as our Studio X50, X30 products we just came out with, completely revolutionizing how people are using these rooms and these products.
So you got the cloud that suddenly is ubiquitous, it's scalable, it's easy to deploy. You got the devices that come together and complement that with all the new technology from the camera angles and auto train framing and tracking, all this stuff coming together. So if people are out there, they're figuring out like, so there's a lot of different solutions, right? It's not just one size fits all. Talk to me about some of the different categories, because I know just within our own portfolio, we've got several different products that could be deployed in a huddle room. Talk us through kind of pros and cons and some of the differences between those technologies that somebody can deploy in their space. You mentioned a few products earlier, but I'll let you expand.
Great. Yeah, great question. So the most basic model that a lot of we see in SMB and smaller environments is just what we call the bring your own processor, bring your own computer, bring your own device, BYOC, BYOD, whatever you want to call it. And that's basically you can go get a USB connected solution like our Studio product. You put it into the room. And if you're going to then get on a Zoom call or a log me in call or a Teams call, you bring your laptop in, you just connect up the system to your laptop, and then you're leveraging this specifically designed camera audio solution for the room with your traditional application that's just running on your desktop. So that is sort of your lower end. How do I get into this market? How do I start to leverage these spaces? So that's a fairly sizable percentage of the early adopter market. So what we started to see is as the larger enterprises started to look at this, one of their concerns is the scale of support of a BYOD scenario, right? I have every user, 50,000 people, all trying to understand how to connect to USB, use the applications. Why don't I do something that's more targeted? So one of the examples is you could go with, put a traditional Polycom Trio with a controller application on it, with a dedicated processor in the room. And now you have this great audio experience. You have a traditional, say even PC-based model with a camera connected up to it, and that can be your driver for the engine in the space. As you know, we sold a lot of those. Very happy, very well done into the market, and now it's really matured to the next level. So, as up to 4 or 5 months ago, the only way to get Zoom or Teams into a conference room environment was with an external PC or a Mac-based processor. What Poly just came out with, as I mentioned, the Studio X30, X50, and even our G7500 platform, is able to run those native applications on that processor, which is a massive game changer from a deployability and ingest for IT organizations. Because now you have this all-in-one device. It's Android based, it's an appliance, super secure, dedicated to running that application. So as you know, Poly partnered with each of these players and we co-developed the solutions with them. So you no longer have to worry about having a PC, USB peripherals, all the complexity of what that may look like. You just walk in with this one device. It's almost like a phone, right? Put it on, but it's dedicated for this space. Put it on the wall, plug in HDMI to the display, plug in the network, hit power, boom. You're making
Yeah,
calls.
and it's a great device that just has that whole, you know, the user interface that now people are getting really accustomed to using. So from a user's perspective, ease of use, and from a perspective of the IT, easy to deploy. So I heard
it's a dedicated for the solution, right? That's you can't do better than that when you design specifically for the environment, right?
So I heard you talk about there's these USB solutions. I heard you talking about there's the conference phone as the center solution, and now these new application specific devices that are all in one. So we got really the whole spectrum covered. So now I know right now everybody's thinking about working from home. Really, I mean, we're talking about rooms and you know, well, everybody's, you know, we're sitting at home. Everybody else is probably sitting at home. They're like, why are you guys talking about rooms? But the reality is, at some point, we are going to go back to work, right? And when we do go back to work, right, what kind of changes should people expect? What kind of things do we foresee looking down the road right now, knowing that rooms might be on the top of people's minds, but eventually they will, and now people will be using video probably more than ever.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly exciting. As you know, we like this industry, the video communications UC industry. I think we're going to see the next 2 to 3 years we've hit a tipping point, because what this exercise has done is forced the IT organizations to test their infrastructure, to test the applications from as severe a case as you can get, right?
Oh yeah.
You never would have done this unless you were forced. But there's going to be learnings that come out of it. So this is the confidence level is going to go through the roof. So either they're finding we're not ready and here's what we have to do, or I think there's going to be a lot of companies that go, you know what, we really are ready. We can do this at scale. So now you're going to even have more people with flexibility of working from home. And then also when they're coming in the office, you're going to need this huddle room environment. Again, they're more small meetings because it's not 8 of us in the room, all in the office. There's 4 of us and 4 people remote. So the whole usage of communication, video, data sharing is going to be the norm. Every day for every employee is going to be what happens. And then you're going to have the verticals of education, you know, medical, all of that is being tested right now. And it's just going to drive the adoption, because I believe success is what's going to come out of the experience.
I totally believe you.
Yeah, so that's going to drive just this whole model of work transition, and the experiences will just get better and better. So having the business ownership of this, I'm incredibly excited. And I think that the sky's the limit for Poly for the video going forward.
Well, and I think you're right. I mean, it's an inflection point. It's gonna bring the world into seeing what we've seen for so long about the power of video, about the power of working from home, about the power of bringing together people in groups and rooms. I think we're in a good spot. Thank you, Tim, for taking some time out of your busy day to join us and share some of your thoughts with everybody. If you're listening out there and you've got more information you want to know, please visit us on our new website at www.poly.com. Check out some of our other interviews here on our YouTube channel. I want to thank you again, Tim, for your participation, and everybody have a great day.
Thanks, Chris.